Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a story that is going to make you question everything you know about common sense. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the entire world has been flipped upside down. I'm talking about a world where the social rules for men and women are completely reversed. This is the story of Sato Sora, a guy who was just a regular student in our world, but suddenly finds himself as the prey in a place called the world of inverted chastity. In this reality, girls are the ones who are aggressive, loud, and totally open about their desires, while the guys are expected to be shy, modest, and focused on things like skincare and looking adorable. Sora is just trying to work his part-time job at a convenience store, but he quickly realizes that being a handsome guy in this world is actually kind of dangerous. From girls openly asking for his advice on protection to a manager who thinks her beautiful body is a curse that makes her unlucky in love. And just wait until you meet Koharu, a girl so desperate to escape the mockery of her classmates that she's willing to beg on her knees just to have Sora help her change her life. Now let's get straight into the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Two boys walk under a peaceful sunset while one rudely announces his urgent need to lose his virginity to anybody. His friend winces and sweats as the other laughs without shame about pleading even with a loose girl. Their teasing grows meaner as the sky shines gently, contrasting with the vulgar joke about taking his virginity. He lies stunned on a bed, staring up in shock as he wonders how his life turned into this. A shy girl holds her open shirt, shaking as she confesses her lack of experience to Sato. Another woman looks away and sweats anxiously, begging Sato not to harm her. A glasses-wearing woman leans near, her chest hanging close as she softly asks if his neck is stiff. A pink-haired girl smiles with wild devotion, drooling as she shouts her love for Sora. Surrounded by eager women crowding him, Sora lies pinned as they plead with him to take their virginity in this strange new world. At the counter, Sora politely adds up the total while calmly explaining he comes from another world just like this one. He packs items with a trained smile, recalling how everything seemed ordinary until the rules of his world suddenly changed. A box of condoms lands on the counter as a girl boldly asks the clerk's opinion, putting him in a tough spot. A curvy schoolgirl leans over the counter with a playful smirk, clearly wanting more than basic service. Sora switches to salesman style, thumbs up high as he bravely praises unprotected sex and compliments the customer's choice. From a distance, two girls laugh at the counter, sharing dirty thoughts about the product while calling the clerk ridiculously daring. One girl at a desk covers an evil grin with her hand as she wonders out loud which position the bold clerk likes best. Her embarrassed friend yells her name and scolds her, horrified that she's trapping the clerk with such a question. He pulls her away from the counter, whispering that she's shaming them both with her loud, perverted talk. A bottle of lotion drops on the counter as the boy casually tells the clerk to charge everything together. At the register, the couple argues over skincare buys, while Sora quietly puts up with their loud fight. Above, their voices float up as they confess they don't get skincare and poke fun at each other about gender. Sora forces a polite goodbye, hiding his discomfort with a simple thank you. As they finally go, the couple walks off happily, unaware that Sora watches them as evidence this is a world where purity has been reversed. Schoolgirls look through shelves in the convenience store while Sora thinks that he's been thrown into this twisted society. A close-up of his tired eye shows him replying to a coworker's worry with forced calm. His stare jumps to a huge chest filling his sight, surprise cracking his serious face. The manager walks in with a giant box and an even bigger bust. Blind to how she blocks the doorway, she says sorry stiffly for her body getting in the way. While Sora insists he's okay, clearly fighting the awkward nearness, she blushes and yells at unseen staff for mocking. Sad, admitting his cuteness makes it tough not to cross lines. Sora gives her a gentle smile and thanks her, hiding how rattled he is by her sudden care. Her face turns bright red in shock as she stumbles over thanks back, shaken that his simple praise affects her so much. Boxes fall from a shelf with a bang, startling everyone as the mess risks more humiliation. Sora bows and insists he's unhurt, while the panicked manager leans in freaking out about maybe harming him. Fabric strains on her uniform chest. She cries that her clumsiness and body will ruin her chances at love. Sora offers to restock, inwardly moaning that being this close to her massive chest is too much to handle. He squats among tall shelves alone with his thoughts about how differently girls in this world pursue pleasure. Bright packs of funny snacks and hot treats line the shelves, showing the crude wants of this society. Rows of obvious sex products fill another display, proof that desire sells so well the shelves are almost empty. Sora reaches for items with a weary look, knowing every product here is made for the cravings of nearby schoolgirls. His hand picks up a box of female condoms, realizing even protection is sold as fun seduction in this upside-down world. Sora examines the condom packet with serious focus, while quietly saying that only the gender roles have switched from his old world. He remembers the promise to take charge as he looks at the package, his mind freezing until a loud cough brings him back. A stern-faced schoolgirl stands over him, her huge breasts and rigid stance giving off strong, uncomfortable tension. Shocked on the floor, he quickly says sorry as he hurries to react to the towering girl standing above him. Still gripping the item, he manages a courteous question to the buyer, while secretly thinking about how desperately men here will pursue this product. Her eyes widen and face turns red as she understands this is the famous guy, her heart racing wildly. She lunges forward with a bright, frightened grin, bowing and saying sorry so intensely that her chest jiggles with each hurried word. Head down and fingers fiddling with her collar, she mumbles through incomplete whispers about what she heard he would offer her. He leans closer with a relaxed but curious smile, asking her to say it again while she pulls back, face flaming in embarrassed horror. She gasps and shakes, calling him terrible even as her uneven breaths and rising chest reveal a strange thrill. Observing her breakdown, Sora touches his chin and wonders in frustration what is wrong with this girl. Walking past her with a basket, he says he'll go ahead with approval, as if dealing with an unstable explosive he's encountered before. His eyes lower to her damp collar as he notices she seems like the timid virgins from his previous world, not the aggressive ones of this place. She abruptly drops into a full dogeza on the store floor, forcing him to stop suddenly at the extreme request. Face pressed to the tiles, she calls out her name and confesses she followed rumors here, embarrassing herself just to see him. His face hardens in a dark frame as he asks what sort of rumor could push someone to this. From a safe distance, he clumsily explains they aren't looking for employees, while she remains flat on the floor like a pleading worshiper. Then her quiet voice requests permission to have sex, shocking him as if the ground itself just spoke. She raises her teary eyes and shouts that she wants to lose her virginity, showing her urgency with her shirt slipping off her shoulders. He panics as she kneels in front of him in the well-lit store, vowing to do anything if he'll just take her first time. His eye squints in worried reflection as he considers how virginity and purity ought to be the same, but never really are. Shelves of drinks fade behind voiceover about his former world, where men's innocence mattered little and women's meant everything. A close-up of his neck and uniform shirt highlights that in this new world, the rules have reversed, leaving him caught in between. Her blushing face takes over the frame as he observes that moments like this happen frequently, yet her passion seems on a different scale. He turns away and walks further into the store, thinking how uncommon it is to see someone this needy. As she looks on nervously, kneeling rigidly, she listens with wide eyes as he sets the time for tonight, his steady voice making her nerves spark. Glancing back over his shoulder, he says he'll wait here after work, handling her request like an important meeting. Her eyes fill with thankful tears, and she presses her hands together, yelling a shaky thank you that shakes with relief and longing. A ceiling fan buzzes above while his inner thoughts confess the urge of existing in a world whose rules totally confuse him. The night sky looms over the shopfront while polite farewells ring out, hiding the strain of what's coming. Sora exits the convenience store in his suit by himself against the silent night as he prepares himself for the encounter. His eyes open wider a bit as something out of view grabs his notice. Down the deserted street, she stands under a lamppost with her phone in hand, tiny and anxious against the dark city. In a quick 3-panel sequence, she shifts restlessly, looks at her phone, and pushes out her chest, trying awkwardly to prepare herself for a lure. He appears suddenly with a relaxed greeting, causing her to scream and drop her phone as her entire body jumps in fright. They both reach for the dropped phone while he says sorry, and she claims she's okay, even as her knees shake. On the screen, a vulgar article about how to orgasm from penetration stares back, revealing the rough research behind her request. Sora's eyes bulge and cold sweat forms as he understands precisely what she had been reading for tonight. She lunges toward him, jacket sliding off as she screams that it isn't what it seems, humiliation clashing against her longing. He walks behind with a blank look and asks what exactly it doesn't seem like, trapping her with calm, unending shame. A thin speech bubble floats alone in the panel, holding a tense sorry in the heavy quiet. Gripping her phone with trembling hands, she turns bright red as she shyly says again what she read about enjoyment. He gazes with wide eyes and sweat, shocked that she so directly asked to feel that with him. Then he pushes out a twisted laugh and a blush. On the dark road, he walks ahead with bold assurance, vowing her several climaxes while she staggers, silent behind him, twisting her fingers and glowing red. She stutters a shy question about where this risky vow is taking them. He looks back steadily and says they are going to his home, making the offer sound normal and unavoidable. Under the city lamps, he mentions he lives by himself. While she tenses in shock at how directly he's set up their meeting, she chuckles anxiously and rubs her cheek, trying to hide how scared she is of her own bold choice. His eye squints as he spots every shake in her face, seeing the fear behind her fake smile. He examines her red, shining eyes and wonders if she's more afraid of the deed itself or of giving her body to him. To ease the strain, he softly holds out his hand and suggests they walk together, checking if she'll accept that simple contact. Her eyes widen in fright as that harmless offer strikes harder than any of the dirty words earlier. Money flashes between them as she desperately tries to push cash at him, treating closeness like a rough deal. Hugging herself and stepping back, she rambles that it isn't about rejecting payment, only widening the uneasy gap between them. He leans near with a clever grin and softly cautions that if she keeps offering money, she'll arrive at his room penniless and bare. She suddenly faints, and he rushes forward in worry, calling out to check if she's all right. With a concerned frown and a drop of sweat, he offers to end everything if her body can't take the stress. Heart beating so fast it fogs from her mouth, she grabs her chest. Overcome by anxiety rather than illness, he breaks into playful laughter as she cries his name, calling her completely fragile, even while she trembles with shame. Her foggy eyes rise to his open hand as he kindly urges her to continue. He smiles gently and holds out his palm, encouraging her to move before her bravery fades. Face flaming and eyes tearing, she shouts sorry while he steadily reassures her that his remark about her hands was a compliment, not criticism. Teary and wide-eyed, she listens as he smoothly changes the subject and asks how much she commits to her club. Still red, she confesses she only gave average effort some time ago. While he walks next to her, hands still joined with hers. His half-closed gaze drops as he whispers that he gets it, sounding much more serious than his joking side. Against a cloudy sky, her hesitant refusal floats out as he softly asks whether she joins any club at all. Now he brightens the air with a funny nickname, and she laughs beside him. Their quick joke briefly melts the previous fear. As their fingers stay linked, he quietly thinks in relief that her earlier terror has softened into something nearly relaxed. When he softly says her name, she looks up with a lively, nervous grin. Walking side by side down the quiet night road, he cautions her she shouldn't do this if her heart already belongs to another person. She abruptly seizes his jacket fronts and presses her chest against him, yelling that there's definitely no such issue. Urgency, beating shame, he examines her sincere face and confesses he thought she was well-liked, naming all the reasons other boys should pursue her. His eyes lower to her chest as he mentions her sure stance and nice voice, knowing how those qualities would attract this world's men. Looking down at her legs, he thinks that in a place like this, she should be valued, not pleading on a pavement for her first time. Her mouth opens in surprise as she softly repeats the thought of herself being popular like it's an unknown idea. Under the twinkling sky, she stands stiff and argues that someone like her could never be wanted that way. Seeing her pull back, he lifts a calming hand and says sorry, worried his direct praise only made her more awkward about herself. Small and nervous in front of him, she bows and claims she's the one to blame, fearing that she's destroyed the delicate mood between them. She clenches her fist with fake courage, cheerfully saying they should hurry to his home while he follows behind in tired quiet. The rundown apartment building rises under the night sky as his soft words note this as the spot where everything will shift. Standing at his door, she grins anxiously and checks again if he really plans to follow through with this uncertainty pulling at her red face. Her eyes warm and spill over as a weak, thankful smile appears. Their lips smash together on the bed, her body shaking as lack of skill and strong need mix in a sloppy first kiss. In the dimly lit room, he lies stretched on the bed, mocking her awkward tongue and lack of practice while she wiggles beside him. She pulls away with a flustered beg to stop, covering her flaming face behind her sleeve. Relaxing with his shirt open on the sheets, he grins and asks if she intends to finish this night with only a few kisses. She stutters that she has no clue what to do. While he chuckles, naming her pure as he watches her struggle above him, kneeling near on the bed, he reaches for her and vows to lead her, changing her worry into excited expectation. His fingers struggle at her buttons, openly commenting on her large breasts and even asking her bra size as strain thickens the air. From the shadowy ceiling, his deep question about touching her lingers heavily like a challenge she can't simply turn down. In the dark panel, her trembling agreement comes out, tiny and scared, yet clearly eager. He stops and repeats in shock that someone like him could ever be well liked, the thought conflicting with how he sees himself. She smiles sadly and maintains there's no way anyone would desire a girl like her, wearing defeat like protection. His inner voice breaks in, stating that expression on her face isn't modesty at all, but something much more damaged. Another box of voiceover calls it a separate kind of shadow, one that's been gnawing at her for years. The idea goes on that if even someone like him can intervene, then perhaps he can break through that shadow. He decides in serious silence that he will rescue her from the very tag that has shaped and trapped her. Two hands pass a water bottle courteously, the basic act trying to calm nerves, sitting straight at the edge of his bed with the bottle in her lap. She breathes unsteadily, overwhelmed by the bright window behind her. She looks at the water and mutters that it seems like the entire world has shifted around her bare chest. Eyes closed tight, she raises the bottle and drinks, trying to cool the warmth in her face and the chaos in her chest. He looks up at her blushing alarm and half jokes if she still wants to go on, while she waves her arms and refuses in ashamed objection. She yells at him not to mock her, cheeks glowing while he laughs and says sorry, finding her shame sweetly painful. His grin disappears as he gazes down and wonders out loud if she's truly fine giving herself to an ordinary guy like him. Off-panel words demand it's definitely not an issue. Slicing through his doubt with urgent quickness, her fingers grip her clothes as she admits she has always been teased and put down. The memory still fresh on her skin, she remembers with an empty stare how they said a moody girl like her would die untouched. He leans his head with a twisted smile and softly points out that this prediction no longer stands. She abruptly hunches on the edge of crying and he worries, asking if he said something bad as he reaches toward her. Tears stream down her face while she cries that it really hurt, being mocked day after day without relief. He kneels in front of her as she sniffles on the couch, and he compares her suffering to how untouched people were harassed back in his former world. Her eyes lower, and she confesses it's no surprise she came to despise that person so much, the anger still flaming. She describes through shaking lips that every time they went to school together, his comments became another coat of overwhelming pressure. Looking up at him with damp eyes and open shirt, she explains that the bully she despises is a man, not some forceful girl. An outside shot of two nearby schools shows up as her voice from off-screen fixes his mistake, explaining she really goes to a co-ed school in the neighboring town. Back inside the room, he tenses, shocked that she purposely came from another town just to offer herself to him. Against a shadowy, uncomfortable backdrop, he pushes a forced smile and asks if he truly seems like such a hopeless pervert to her while she just cocks her head in puzzlement. From somewhere in the room, a soft remark notes that such a mean guy really exists, and her quiet reply agrees. She bursts out in anger, remembering how high school burdened her with the harsh nickname of a permanent virgin failure. His classmate rubs his chin and mocks that all this brooding feels a lot like hiding a secret liking while she droops in embarrassed rejection. A cocky boy chuckles and points, bragging about some internet method to torment shy victims like their target. His joy, dripping cruelty. Sora scratches his neck and confesses that while some folks like that kind of thrill, on this girl, it obviously only cut deeper scars. With a tired, seductive grin, she bends forward and says that because of tonight, she can at last remove that guy from her life. Sora touches his mouth, embarrassed, and stumbles over a response, rattled by the importance she's given their meeting. She blows up with an angry laugh when he softly asks if she might really like the guy, terrified he could believe that. Eyes large and glistening, she cries that in middle school she despised him so much she locked herself indoors for a week. Her tone lowers as she remembers how the fury finally faded, only for his bullying to sneak back into her routine. She shouts that the more she begged him to quit, the worse he got, labeling him an utterly disgusting man. Their faces nearly bump as she abruptly rushes at Sora. Unplanned, almost kiss. On the bed, she lowers her head and says sorry, admitting she just can't tolerate anything that brings back that idiot. Sora's eye narrows in close-up as he thinks that men who can't respect limits are without any defense. Red-faced and gazing down, she thanks him honestly while he concludes that man's mocking was nothing but venom. Sora pauses, then suggests softly that if she wishes, there is something different he could do for her. Sitting next to each other on the bed, he offers to assist if things ever become too much with that guy, his steady voice vowing support. They stare into each other's eyes, both blushing, as he jokes that guys should deal with guys, leaving the exciting hint hanging between them. She hunches into herself, murmuring her thanks while he says her wounds go deeper than he initially realized. Inside view, he wonders if that bold classmate might actually lose control once he learns this girl has already lost her virginity. Turning at the sound of her voice, Sora stops midway to rising, feeling one more question weighing on her lips. Gripping her loose shirt, she asks why someone as broken as her merits his help at all. Fear and wish mixed in her look. Outside, the moon sinks in black clouds, as the night itself seems to pause for his reply. Lit by moonlight, she glances up while his voice from off-screen starts with the basic truth that he is a man. Bending forward with a gentle, twisted smile, he ends that it's because she is a girl, making the explanation feel both kind and serious. Her eyes grow wide in amazed bewilderment as she understands his words hold a sense only he completely gets. Sora grins weakly and thinks that in this twisted world, he alone comprehends the depth behind that basic statement, then waves it away with a sorry. From the bed, he falls back and casually says they can keep any strange emotional thoughts for later, pulling the atmosphere back to now. Stretching his arms with a relaxed smirk, he asks if she's ready for another go, shifting concern into desire once more. She jumps under the blankets with a yell, response glowing from her entire body as the night assures more to come.